Thumbs up. Comes in. Elbows up. Elbows in. Feet apart. Jump up. Palms up. Palms in. Juguja. The forum goes back to, I think, 2002, and it goes back to the days where Wipro thought of this initiatives in school education. And at that point in time, the idea was simply this, that could we get our partners, really our partners, together in a place and try and do something very purposeful in the forum. And we had perhaps slightly grand notions about what that purposefulness was, in that if you could get a number of our partners and perhaps describe what is the kind of education that all of us subscribe to, and so on and so forth. So the notion that I'm trying to describe to you is that when we started off in 2002, this meeting was a meeting of Wipro's partners, and we thought there was going to be an output from the meeting, right? And we pursued the notion of output from this meeting for about 2.5 years. And in those days, I think we were having 2 meetings a year. And with each meeting, we realized that there was no output. None at all. And I guess this went on till about 2004 end or 2005 beginning. And at that point in time, and it was not like enlightenment one night, but it sort of struck us that perhaps there's no reason for us to have this pressure on ourselves or on this meeting to really have an output. And sometime in 2006, we sort of go of the notion of having an output. And we said, why can't it just be a meeting where not just our partners, but our friends who are not necessarily partners in this initiative, and not just friends, but people who are sort of, in some senses, kindred souls about this kind of education or this kind of life, can't we get together and just chat about a few things? And I think that turned everything for this forum. So once the pressure of output was gone, it perhaps became more enjoyable, and we had perhaps more output. Right?
I don't know, Bihar, if you are saying this is artificial, then you must be having some interesting meaning behind it. But at this moment, it seems to me that, what is not artificial about human beings? The way we behave with each other, families are artificial, the houses we live in artificial, our lifestyle is artificial, our eating style is artificial, this knowledge creation, whole business is artificial.
Only what is not artificial.
Huh?
Only what is not artificial.
Well, what is very, very artificial actually. So,
I don't go for many meetings and conferences, but the few I've been to, this is the first time I've been given 1 hour. Otherwise, it's this big thing, Western Ghats, conservation, community participation, this, that. Education, 10 minutes, huh? Please. Wind up. Yeah.
That long slot is almost.
No teacher will be deployed for any non-educational purposes other than this population census, disaster relief duties or duties related to elections to the local authority, state legislatures or parliament. बाकी क्या रह गया?
The verifiability as a notion emerges because history developed in an era, a modern history developed in an era which celebrated science, and science became the paradigm of all knowledge. Thomas Kuhn and post-Kuhn, we know that even scientists know and believe that facts within science acquire meaning only within specific paradigms. Knowledge community, scientific community accepts certain things as true because within that framework, within the paradigm that they look at, that is constituted as truth. When this comes under question for a prolonged period of time, there will be a period of transition when this paradigm is questioned, but till the new notion of truth is established and a new paradigm will actually attribute significance, meaning to that and accept that as true. And then this truth will be accepted by the scientific community. In history, this does not really happen. That is, in sciences, there is a displacement of paradigms. In history, there is a battle for paradigms.
आपका अलग आप ही का अनुभव अकेला अनुभव नहीं है ना, मैं ही कहूंगी कि इस तरह का चाहे हम लोग प्राशिका में किए, इस तरह के सब में जिस स्टेट के कल्चर का जितना अपना अनुभव है, मध्य प्रदेश में कोई भी आप ABL करिए, प्राशिका करिए, कोई भी करिए, आपको दावे से 20 से 25 क्रिएटिव टीचर्स जो आपकी बात भी नहीं सुनेंगे और अपने क्लासरूम में करेंगे मिलेंगे। और मेरा ऐसा एहसास है कि तमिलनाडु या केरला या हिमाचल प्रदेश जैसी जगहों पे शायद वो 35 या 40% तक होगा और उससे ज्यादा नहीं मिलेंगे, ये भी है।
Now open to questions, but one request: think about your question before you speak. Keep it to 3 sentences and don't use anecdotes.
Sorry, Venu, I broke all your books.
I expected that.
Since Venu's rules are already broken by 3 people, so they are not applicable on me. So I am very thankful to the 3 people who spoke before me. That completes my 3 sentences, and now I'll start saying what I wanted to say.
He makes this statement: Kastvam koham kuta ayatam. Kastvam, who are you? Koham, who am I? Where have we come from? And then the following line is Sansa Royam Ativa Vichitra. Theme 2 comes from the title of a book published by Syagbai several decades ago of Kabir's bhajans. The title of the book is Kabira Soi Peer Hai Jo Jane Par Peer.
It is unfair to the downstream farmer to have to use polluted water to irrigate his farms when Harrier upstream is irrigating it. For a social justice person, it would be unfair when it is Harrier upstream and farmer downstream. If you reverse the situation, it's going to be a little more complicated. So it's a farmer upstream and a company downstream lifting the water which is polluted with pesticides and say producing Coca-Cola and getting hammered by Sunita Narayan for producing pesticide contaminated Coca-Cola, right? Now, is it unfair to the company that they are getting pesticide from upstream farmers who are doing, let's say, sugarcane cultivation with those pesticides? Or cotton, more likely?
No, it's not unfair. The farmer has some sort of natural entitlement to that water resource because of generations living there or whatever.
Right.
Company, which is particularly Coca-Cola, because you mentioned,
Thumbs up hai to chalega shayad. No, but for example, does the entitlement to use the water extend to the entitlement to pollute the water? Pesticides.
No.
Pesticides came only 30 years ago.
Then it would be unfair because of some other reason, not because of company lifting the polluted water. Because as soon as you bring the company in, the situation is going to change, to my mind. I might be wrong. The
Ethical issue is still the same, no? Upstream person is dumping polluted water.
You see, if you leave the company out and simply say that polluting the water in river in itself, is there an ethical issues involved? I do understand that, and perhaps this is unfair. But coming in company lifting polluted or unpolluted water, this depends on several other things. Because company might have taken the license and paid very little price for lifting water because this was already contaminated, and they built in their own system to clean it up, etc. And therefore may be paying very little price for this. So therefore company complicates the issue.
You're quite right. When Rohit is making a statement, then within his ethical framework, there is one kind of an attitude for the farmer and another for the Coca-Cola company. That's all.
No,
Ultimately, it is an ethical issue.
No, that you are actually misinterpreting my ethics.
Okay.
I just want to emphasize the importance of these annual events for us. We have been committed to education now for more than 10 years, and we are doing it in Wipro Applying Thought in Schools. We are doing it in Mission 10X, and we have been doing it in our foundation. We have been committed to ecological sustainability. Both of them require very long-term commitments, and we appreciate that. And the emphasis which I want to make in terms of Wipro as well as myself is that we appreciate that in the area, particularly of education, change does not take place fast. It requires horsepower, it requires perseverance, it requires sustainability, and it requires a very strong unition of direction in terms of what we're trying to do. We appreciate that for us to be really effective and for us to scale, we have to work with partners, and which is why many of you all are here today, is that without partners we have no reach, and without partners we don't have that breadth of expertise which we think is essential for us to be successful in what we are doing and what we are trying to do. We appreciate the support we are receiving from our partners. Thank you all for being here.
The end of the sessions today, but there is something very interesting. Try and find time to fill your claim forms today.